All right, thank you guys. Welcome to Brock Page Productions. I'm your host, Brock Page, and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. And if you really end up enjoying this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and destroy that like button. And if you haven't already joined the Brock Page delegation, please feel free to do that right now by tapping that, what is it called? The subscribe button. Tap that subscribe button below. And guys, we got ourselves some great Friday college basketball action. We're going to take a look at Fairfield squaring off against Niagara, and that's going to be a 4 p.m. Eastern tip-off. The Niagara Purple Eagles are -5 with a total at 126. We're 4-1 in our last 5 board member tier package picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. We're also hitting at 64% in our last 12 NFL tier package picks on that site as well. We currently have over 775 members signed up and active on that page. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Excuse me. Now, wow. Now so excited, man. I'm just really into it. It's Friday. We got a lot of games going on, so let's dive into it. The Niagara Purple Eagles are 0-3 straight up thus far in the season, averaging just 49 points per contest. Niagara's also shooting just 30% from the field. Now they're taking on a Fairfield squad who's coming fresh off a 15-point victory over Iona. They held the Gales to just 52 total points in that contest. The Fairfield Stags also successfully covered the point spread in 2 out of their last 4, and that includes a cover against Stony Brook. Now, Taj Benning is scoring 12 points a night along with 4 rebounds. The senior from Fair Lawn, New Jersey, is also draining 89% of his foul shots. Meanwhile, senior guard Jesus Cruz is also scoring over 10 points a game along with 5 rebounds himself. Cruz has 7 steals thus far in the season and a block. Fairfield's won 7 out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings with Niagara. And when it comes to the total in this one, the Stags' last 3 straight ball games all stayed under the posted number, 4-2 to the under overall for this season. Meanwhile, Niagara on the other side of things, they are 3-0 to the under through 3 ball games themselves. We're going to start off this video with an underdog lean here. Give me the underdog Fairfield Stags +5 and the under 126 in that contest. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for college basketball here on Friday. Guys, happy Friday to you. The weekend is finally here. Hopefully you guys got some great plans going on this weekend, whether it's action-packed or if you're just sitting around relaxing, chilling, betting games on your phone. Really doesn't matter just as long as it's a good weekend. Now, guys, before we dive into some more free content right here on YouTube, just got to quickly remind you once again that we are currently 4-1 in our last 5 board member tier package picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. We're also hitting at 64% in our last 12 NFL tier package picks on that site as well. Now, you might be wondering, why would you sign up for picks on Patreon and pay for them, where you can get them right here for free on YouTube? And that's certainly a great thought, a great consideration. If I were you, I'd probably be thinking the same thing myself. But if you were to go out there and bet every single game that's on the board, side and total, like I do with my breakdowns here on YouTube, it's certainly not a winning formula for success. And as a matter of fact, it's a recipe for disaster. The books are just way too smart. They're way too sharp with the numbers. The odds become massively more against you the more and more games you play like that. And to be honest with you, the bookies just have so much more money than you and I do combined to be able to absorb that type of action, betting every single game on the slate like a lunatic. So anyway, what I do on Patreon is I make life a lot easier for you. I break it down and focus in on just 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, I'm having a lot more success betting on games that way in smaller sample sizes versus wagering on every single game on the slate, side and total, like a lunatic. But once again, guys, we currently have over 775 members signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, That's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, guys, one final thing before we dive into some more free content here. It's really important to me. If you end up really enjoying this video, please do me a favor and give it a thumbs up. And, it would mean so much to me if you smash that like button. And, of course, if you haven't done so already, if you haven't already become a member of the Brock Page delegation, please feel free to do so right now by hitting that subscribe button below. And with that, guys, now we're going to dive into some more free content right here on YouTube. And fortunately, our next game is on our big screen behind me. I'm talking about St. Pete's versus Monmouth, and that's going to be a 5 p.m. Eastern tip-off in New Jersey. Now, the St. Peter's Peacocks are the 1.5-point favorite on the road. Totals at 143. St. Pete's is on a 2-game winning streak. Back-to-back victories over Niagara during that stretch. They actually held the Purple Eagles to just 51 points per contest on average in those 2 ball games. Now, St. Pete's has also won 4 out of their last 5 contests, and they're also 4-2 against the spread in their last 6. Fousseyni Drame is scoring 13 points a game along with 8 rebounds. The sophomore forward also has 9 steals and a couple of blocks. And speaking of blocks, 6'7" forward Casey Ndefo is averaging 3 blocks a game and has totaled 16 total blocks on the season already. Ndefo also has 11 total blocks. 16 total blocks on the season. Ndefo also has 11 total steals, and he scores 13 points a game on average. St. Pete's is holding their opponents to just 40% from the field. And when it comes to the total in this one, the Peacocks' last 2 straight both stayed under the number. Meanwhile, Monmouth saw 6 out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings with St. Pete stay under the line themselves. So if you're into historical trends, it's certainly leaning toward the under in this one. But with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the St. Peter's Peacocks minus 1.5 and the under 143. Next matchup, it is going to be BYU versus San Diego State, 5 p.m. Eastern start time at the Aztec Bowl. San Diego State is minus 7.5, totals 136. San Diego State is giving up, San Diego State is giving up just 57 points per contest, and they're holding their opponents to just 37% shooting from the field. The Aztecs are a perfect 5-0 straight up on the season, and they successfully cover the number in 3 out of their last 4 qualifying ball games. Jordan Shackle is scoring over 15 points a night along with 4 rebounds. The senior from Torrance, California also has 6 steals on the season, and he's drilling 94% of his foul shots. Senior forward Matt Mitchell is also scoring 13 points a game along with 4 boards and a couple assists. Mitchell has also recorded 8 steals defensively along with a pair of blocks. The Aztecs have beaten the likes of Arizona State and UCLA already this season. Now they're taking on a BYU squad who has lost 4 out of their last 5 head-to-head meetings with San Diego State. BYU's also failed to cover the number in 6 out of their last 9 at the Aztec Bowl. So if you're into historical trends, certainly not leaning toward BYU. Now, total-wise, the Cougars' last 2 straight got over the posted number. Meanwhile, 2 out of the Aztecs' last 3 qualifying ball games got over the line themselves. A little bit of a chalky lean here. Give me the San Diego State Aztecs minus 7.5 and the over 136 in that ball game. All right, next matchup I have for you. Actually, it's not on our big screen behind me, but it is going to be Drake versus South Dakota, and that's going to be a 6 p.m. Eastern start time at the Coyote. Drake's minus 6.5, totals 142 and a hook. The Drake Bulldogs are 6-0 straight up on the season, 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 qualifying games. Drake also beat South Dakota back on November 27th by the final of 69-53. Now, the Bulldogs are scoring 84 points a night, and they find themselves shooting 53% from the field. Drake's also hitting 41% of their three-pointers as well. Shanquan Hemphill is scoring 13 points a game, along with 5 rebounds. The senior also has 8 steals and a pair of blocks. Junior guard DJ Wilkins is also scoring 11 a game along with 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Wilkins has 4 steals thus far defensively as well. Drake's holding their opponents to just 60 points a game and just 36% shooting from the field. Now they're taking on a South Dakota squad who's just 1-5 straight up thus far in the season, and they failed to cover the number in 4 out of those 6 games. The Coyotes are shooting just 40% from the field as a team, and when it comes to the total in this one, South Dakota saw their last 3 straight ball games all get over the posted number. Meanwhile, Drake's 2-0 to the over in their last couple of qualifying games themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Drake Bulldogs minus 6.5 in the over 142 and a hook. All right, next matchup, it is on our big screen behind me. It is going to be Davidson versus Rhode Island, and that's going to be a 7 p.m. Eastern start time at the Ryan Center. Rhode Island's minus 3.5, total 139 and a hook. Rhode Island's on a 2-game losing streak, just 63 points per contest they averaged in those 2 contests. The Rams are just 3-4 straight up overall for the season, and they're allowing nearly 73 points per contest. Now they're taking on a Davidson squad who's won 2 out of their last 3 themselves, and that includes a 32-point victory over Georgia Southern, where they held them to just 45 total points. Now Davidson's shooting 48% from the field and nearly 38% from beyond the arc. Kellen Grady is scoring 19 points a night along with 6 rebounds and a couple assists. The senior from Boston also has 5 steals and a block. Probably nice for him to be back up in the New England area. Now sophomore forward Hyunjun Lee is also scoring 17 a night along with 5 boards and 3 assists. Lee's also drilled 16 of 16 from the foul line, and he's hitting nearly 50% of his three-pointers. Now, total-wise, 2 out of Davidson's last 3 contests away from home did get over the posted number. Those were actually 3 neutral site games for the record. Meanwhile, Rhode Island on the other side saw 3 out of their last 5 get over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Davidson Wildcats plus 3.5 and the over 139 and a hook. All right. Next contest I have for you, another one that is not on our big screen behind me, but it is going to be Santa Clara versus San Jose State, and that's going to be a 9 p.m. Eastern tip-off. Now, the Broncos of Santa Clara are minus 8, totals 147. Santa Clara is a perfect 6-0 straight up on the season, just 58 points a game they're giving up in those contests. The Broncos are also holding their opponents to just 33% shooting from the field. Josip Vrankic is scoring over 18 points a game along with 9 rebounds and 3 assists. The senior from Toronto also has 8 steals and a couple of blocks. And of course, Keyshawn Justice is also scoring 11 points a game along with 8 rebounds and a couple assists himself. Justice has also recorded 8 steals on the season himself. Now they're taking on a San Jose State Spartans squad who lost their last 2 straight. Losses to the likes of St. Mary's and Cal Poly during that span. They also failed to cover the point spread in both of those ball games as well. The Spartans are shooting just 39% from the field offensively, and they also find themselves giving up nearly 84 points a game. Now, total-wise, when it comes to the number in this one, the Spartans' most recent outing with Cal Poly stayed under the posted number. Meanwhile, 3 out of Santa Clara's last 4 qualifying contests stayed under the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Santa Clara Broncos minus 8 and the under 147. I think that's the first time I've ever leaned towards Santa Clara in the history of Brock Page Productions. But anyway, guys, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Iowa State versus West Virginia, and that's going to be a 9 p.m. Eastern tip-off at the Coliseum. The West Virginia Mountaineers are minus 16 at home, totals 145. Now, the Mountaineers are playing some exceptional basketball right now, but they haven't been so hot covering the number recently, and as a matter of fact, the Mountaineers failed to cover the point spread in 2 out of their last 3, and that includes a failure to cover against the likes of North Texas. Now, the Mountaineers are also making just 42% of their shots from the field thus far as well. Now, they're taking on an Iowa State team who's scoring 73 points a night, and they're shooting nearly 48% from the field themselves, despite their current record. Of course, when you talk about this Iowa State squad, got to mention Rasir Bolton, who's scoring 16 points a game along with 5 rebounds and 6 assists. The junior guard also has 9 steals. Meanwhile, Jalen Coleman-Lands is also scoring 14 points a game himself along with 4 rebounds. The Cyclones are holding their opponents to just 29% shooting from 3-land. And when it comes to the total in this one, Iowa State's last 2 straight both got over the number. Meanwhile, 3 out of West Virginia's last 4 contests got over the line themselves. we're going to finish off the video with an underdog here. Give me the underdog Iowa State Cyclones plus 16, keeping this one close, and the over 145. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are 4-1 in our last 5 board member tier package plays. I like Fairfield plus 5 under 126. I'm also leaning towards St. Peter's minus 1.5 under 143. I like the San Diego State Aztecs minus 7.5 over 136. I'm also leaning toward Drake minus 6.5 over 142 and a hook. I like Davidson plus 3.5 over 139 and a hook. I also like Santa Clara minus 8 under 147. And last but certainly not least, please give this video a thumbs up right now if you enjoyed it by smashing that like button. And please go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Give me the Iowa State Cyclones plus 16 and the over 145. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into some shout-outs. And from our YouTube platform, shout out to Wendell Sanders, Massimiliano Giacometti, Eddie Sanchez, shout out to Bo Dunn, John Daniel. Also want to give a shout out to my good friend Aunt Ruga, Jose Rivera, Hilario Labrada, Armando Garcia, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my man, Stu Ryan. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind we'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. Most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. Thank God it's Friday. And don't forget to check me out on my website. I look forward to seeing you on my website later on today on patreon.com/BrockPage.